The pink pill is the pink pill now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up. Live well to the extreme now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up.
Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel. Be a love and like, share, and subscribe. Pinkies up.
Hi, Pinkies. Okay, I want to talk to you guys today about a very funny word. It's German. The word is Schadenfreude. It's very hard to spell, but you don't need to worry about spelling it. You just need to worry about experiencing it.
Dad, do you know what Schadenfreude is?
No, I do not know what Schadenfreude is.
Schaden means damage. Freude means joy. So Schadenfreude means having joy in damage. That means delighting in other people's failures. Social media is full of this, and some of it is well-deserved. We delight when we see people who are destructive or egotistical or bad or evil getting their comeuppance. It feels good to see them fail, and some of it is justified. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the Schadenfreude that happens oftentimes in this community. So on one hand, I will have black men who will find out some news about a black woman in an interracial relationship having some sort of major problem. One recently was a black woman who was in a relationship with a football player who was popular. We found out later that he was beating her and beating her badly. I got so many messages from men who said, you need to talk about that. You need to talk about this. You need to address this. But why did they want me to do that? Because they delighted in the fact that me, who promotes black women finding the best man for the job, entertaining all of their options, including them, seem a little bit, I don't know, maybe they're afraid to participate in real competition. So they delight when they see black women who are in interracial relationships failing or being abused in some way. They want me to cover these things so that I can remind my public that, see, there's bad people in every race. And that is Schadenfreude. That is a group of people who delight in their team winning and another team losing. Let's talk about the women, though, because in this sector, we also have black women who engage in Schadenfreude. Anytime they find out that a black woman is in an interracial relationship, that it's not working out, maybe the guy is like a baby powder dusty, he's a loser, there's a delight in that. They like to know that. That makes them feel good. Why does it make them feel good? It makes the women who are often opposed to interracial relationships feel good because it confirms their decision not to engage in those types of relationships. So they can just say, oh, see, look, this is what happened to Lakeisha with that white dude. See, this is why I don't date none of them. Meanwhile, black women, we have so many challenges when it comes to relationships. Even if we're solely dating our own men, it's ridiculous. But a lot of us will cling to the bad news of an event because we don't necessarily feel comfortable to do what they are doing. Maybe we don't feel brave enough. Maybe we're afraid. Maybe we think we'll fail. So when we see another person doing something that perhaps we are afraid to do, it gives us a little bit of joy. It boosts our self-esteem. It reinforces our decision to, not to play it safe. It reinforces our decision to play it safe. And this is very, very unfortunate because Schadenfreude is very much related to envy, malicious envy. Many of us Black women are still very, very reluctant to engage in interracial relationships. Many of us are resistant to do it because we fear the social consequences. We're worried about what our parents will say, what our community will say, what our circle of friends will say. And it's just safer to not engage in it. It's just safer to do things the way that we've always done them. But perhaps after a while, you realize that your neighbor across the street is successfully paired with a non-Black man. Maybe that guy's from Lebanon. Then maybe you go to your class reunion and you see one of your former classmates with a guy who's white. Maybe you go to a salsa festival and you see beautiful Black women salsa dancing with Hispanic men. And so you see that this is a possibility, but your fear is so great, it paralyzes you. And let's just be honest, not every interracial relationship, just like every traditional relationship, is going to work out. People are going to pick wrong. Things are going to go wrong. But what I find is that people who are afraid of taking the steps to do something brave will look for reasons why they shouldn't do something. And so maybe they'll seek out those Swirl gone wrong videos. They'll look for that news because it confirms their belief that they shouldn't bother doing it. But I have to ask you this question. If you need to have a joy for another person's failures, to feed your reward center, to give you that dopamine hit, what's really going on, sis? And before we really delve deep into the why of it, understand this. This is not a judgment. All of us do this. This is part of the human condition. It's actually a survival mechanism. Groups who identify with each other celebrate when the outside group fails. It's just the way that we are. It's related to our survival. We all do it. But many of us do it because we are afraid to take the steps, to do something different, to take a risk. And we envy those people who do. And some of us envy them not in a way of being inspired, but there's a malicious element to the way that envy shows itself. And so when you have that kind of envy, you want that person to fail. You want that person to fall on their face because, well, it will confirm that you made the right decision to not do what they're doing. But if it's rooted in fear, if your malicious envy is rooted in your inability to try something new, then your Schadenfreude might make you think to yourself, you know what? Maybe this isn't healthy. Maybe it's not healthy for me to be delighting in somebody else's misfortune. And maybe I need to explore why I'm doing this, why I'm feeling this way. I've talked to women who have previously experienced Schadenfreude at seeing interracial relationships going wrong. And 9 times out of 10, they enjoy that failure because of their own fear. So I want to ask you, When was the last time you engaged in schadenfreude because somebody was brave enough to do something that you were too afraid to do? Nietzsche said that schadenfreude is the revenge of the impotent. The revenge of the impotent. Impotent means that you are impotent. It means that you are inactive. It means that you're not doing anything and you feel like you can't do anything. And schadenfreude is your revenge because somebody else had the guts to do something that you wouldn't do. Now, if that's okay with you, then continue on with your schadenfreude. Continue on with your dopamine hits by enjoying other people's failures. Because after all, maybe you're doing all of that to distract yourself from what you're not doing, what risks you're not taking, what you're afraid of doing that you see other people doing. Here at the Pink Pill, we're all about going beyond our fears, being brave, even if it means that sometimes we fall down. Because here's the thing, even when you fall down, you only lose if you don't get back up. I myself have fallen down numerous times, but I only lose when I don't get back up. So explore the reasons why you feel delight in other people's failures. Is it because you're too afraid to try something? Are you too afraid to change your social situation? Are you too afraid to change the type of men that you are connecting to? Are you too afraid what other people are going to say for you to do that thing that you really want to do? Think really deeply about that. Think about how much time you're wasting laughing at someone else. Spend more time looking at why you're so afraid. I'm Crystalline Karazin. I'm creator of the Pink Pill. And the Pink Pill courses are all about being brave, doing things differently and unapologetically, and understanding that showing up as we are is not a liability, but an asset. If you'd like to know more about the Pink Pill and what I do, go to getpinkpill.com. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Pinkies up.